everybody, welcome back to my channel, and today we're going to be doing the Christmas Carol book tag. I had already filmed this video and I had filmed completely out of focus, but we're going to attempt this again and hopefully it looks okay in the little screen, but hopefully it's actually okay. This tag was created by Lauren Wade and I'll list her original video down below. Question number 1, The Ghost of Christmas Past, a book that was a childhood favorite, and for this one I had a really tough time narrowing it down just one. So here are 3. I loved all of these books. We have Frog and Toad, especially Frog and Toad Are Friends. I especially loved that one as a child. I'm pretty sure I read it until those pages were falling off. Then we have Henry and Mudge, and honestly, there was nothing cuter than seeing these two characters interact with each other. There were spin-offs of this universe. I think there was a little girl and a cat at one point. I don't quite remember, but frankly, Henry and Mudge, that's who I truly cared about in this universe. And the last one, we have The Rainbow Fish. I loved this book, but to be fair, I loved it because I loved seeing the little sparkly bits on paper. Like, does anyone remember like the 90s animation show X-Men? And I loved Jubilee, but I loved her because of the sparkles from her hands. I just loved sparkly things as a kid, and I especially loved little sparkly bits on the page of The Rainbow Fish. But now that I'm older, that story is actually pretty dark. Question number 2, The Ghost of Christmas Present, a recent book that you think will become one of your all-time favorites. And for this question, I really had to go through my reading challenge this year. I had a really big reading slump, and so I didn't really have anything like too recent that I could like write home about. And so I went through everything I read in this past year, and I loved anything by Samantha Irby. I read all of her books, but if I really had to choose, I think Wow, No Thank You. I think that one was my most favorite one out of the 3. And each one is like, each of her books was a collection of essays, and they were very funny. I love her humor. Question number 3, The Ghost of Christmas Yet to Come, a book coming out next year that you're most excited about. And this is another one I kind of struggled with. I don't usually pay attention to like publication news, and ooh, I almost lost my phone. And I should. I absolutely should, especially someone who's working in a library. But I had to research for this question, and I think one that I'm very excited for, that I know for a fact I'm going to put myself on the request list at my library, and it's Gallant by V.E. Schwab. Victoria Schwab writes as Victoria Schwab for her like younger reader books, like middle grade and YA, and for her adult books she just go by V.E. Schwab. I've enjoyed everything that she's written, at least everything that I've read by her. I want to say there's a couple things I don't think I've gotten a chance to read yet, but for the most part I do love her stuff, and so I am going to put myself on the list for this book as soon as I can. Question number 4, Bah Humbug, a book that everyone loves that you just can't stand. And I don't know if I just can't, not necessarily I just can't stand it, but I definitely couldn't really understand the hype, and it was Middle Game by Shauna McGuire. Like, the concept was pretty cool, but the pacing was so damn slow. And because it kept flitting perspectives, it took me a while to really grasp what was actually going on, and the villain really disappointed me. So everyone was rating it 4 or 5 stars, at least anytime I saw a review of it. And here I am. I ended up rating it 2 out of 5 stars. And you're going to have to excuse, I'm pretty sure my microphone just caught that. I live on a very busy street. I don't live in a studio. You're just going to have to excuse that. Sorry. But anyways, I didn't particularly enjoy Middle Game. Question number 5, Bob Cratchit, an old dependable that you always recommend, with Fire on High by Elizabeth Acevedo. I thoroughly enjoyed that. I especially love how our main character is a teen girl. She's a teen mom that's living in a tough financial situation, who still, after being, encouraged to do so, pursues her dreams. And I love that the idea is, okay, you got pregnant. It doesn't necessarily have to be the end of the world for you. And I love that we have stories like that now, because I remember when I was a teen in high school, getting pregnant was the end of the world. And also how the author talked about food. I was practically salivating the entire time. I do recommend that you listen to it as an audiobook. I feel like that does the descriptions about food so much more justice. Question number 6, Tiny Tim, an underhyped book that you think deserves more love. And all right, I'm going to save this one as my choice with a little caveat. In the book circles that I follow, I never would have heard of this book. But because my husband follows different book circles, he was able to hear of it. He thoroughly enjoyed it, especially the audiobook, and he recommended it to me, and I love it. Granted, I've only read the first two only because I haven't had time to really continue the series, but I want to continue the series. It's the Akyurt Chronicles by Kevin Hearne, and I especially recommend listening to it as an audiobook. Luke Daniels, who's the narrator for all of them, such a fabulous performer. But I feel like I don't see it get a whole lot of love on BookTube. But I've been to a couple book talks, and it's been packed, it's been hopping, so he's clearly very popular. But I don't necessarily see a whole lot of love for this book series on the internet, and I clearly need a fix wherever I'm going. It's an urban fantasy series about this druid living in like modern day Arizona. So you have all these Celtic inspirations in this very odd setting, and I really like it. I can't say enough good things about it. Question number 7. Today, why it's Christmas Day? What's a book that always gets you in the mood for Christmas, apart from A Christmas Carol? And I've talked about this in my TBR, I've talked about it in several other videos, and it's Letters from Father Christmas by J.R.R. Tolkien. I try to read it every year, and I just love the concept of it. Tolkien wrote letters as Father Christmas to his kids, but it wasn't just, hey, I got you a letter, I hope you enjoy your presents. He would actually write out like all these fantastical stories that Father Christmas would get into, like the shenanigans that the polar bear would get into, the fact that they were goblins living in the mountains and they attacked the workshop. The polar bear's nephews came to visit and they also caused shenanigans. He would also include like little portraits to go along with these stories. They're fabulous. I love them so much, and that really gets me into the holiday spirit whenever I read it. Question number 8, The Muppet Christmas Carol, your favorite film adaptation of a book. And funny, one of my favorite Christmas movies is The Muppet Christmas Carol. I would watch it not every year, but pretty much every year with my dad, and my dad said it was his favorite Christmas movie, and I always questioned it. I'm like, why is this your favorite Christmas movie? But as an adult, I totally get it. But we're not going to use The Muppet Christmas Carol as my answer for this question. A serious one would be Sense and Sensibility with Emma Thompson, Kate Winslet, Alan Rickman. Every one of their performances is just fabulous. I actually saw this movie first, loved the movie so much, and it actually convinced me to actually read the book. So there's a very special place in my heart for Sense and Sensibility. If I had to choose this and Pride and Prejudice, like I know Pride and Prejudice, there's like this discussion of which one's the better Pride and Prejudice, Colin Firth's or the one with Keira Knightley. I actually would prefer to watch Sense and Sensibility over either of those Pride and Prejudice. I said what I said. And a silly one is The Muppet Treasure Island. I grew up watching this one a lot too, and this one is so good. Tim Curry's in it, he plays Long John Silver, and the music's great, the performances are great. It's just a good time all around, and if you haven't seen this, you should. And question number 9, tag some people. I'm not going to tag anybody, especially now it's the end of the year. People are doing their Vlogmas videos. They already have all these videos planned out for the end of the year and the beginning of the year. I'm not tagging anyone. However, if you want to do this tag, feel free to do it and say, hey, Rachel over at Boston Book Biddy, she tagged me. Here's her video. Here's Lauren's video. Enjoy my video. Just make sure you tag me so I can watch your video. But that's all I have for you guys today. We're going to keep our fingers crossed that this video came out great and not out of focus like this time. But let me know down in the comments how you would have answered some of these, especially what is your favorite holiday movie. As always, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I guess it's ta-ta for now. Bye, guys.